Warning: the following contains opinions that you might not agree with. It may also contain too much positivity that you might not be able to handle, but in all seriousness, viewer discretion is advised for the following program.
All right, so back to the topic. What are the advantages of consumerism? If like you said, the disadvantage are the like the negative impacts
Yeah,
are
correct.
environment wise.
I think the main advantage, right, is the very fact that it is consumerism and that it drives the economy. If you I mean, like our entire world operates based on that. We are very geopolitically connected to each other, to China, to America. You can buy stuff from America like in a snap, and you arrive at your doorstep in like 2 days later. And that is essentially how GDP is calculated also. A country's GDP is calculated based on products and services that are being sold domestically as well as imports and exports. So I think, and because of this, lots of jobs are created. A lot of people are brought out of poverty. And I think it is also the essence that drives innovation and creativity among the people. Even though the definition of creativity and productivity has changed a lot in the pre-industrialization era, I think it changes with time, right? So consumerism is very essential to our economy and the livelihood of potential billions of people. For example, if you go back just like 100+ years, and you can tell a person who's very poor, right, that you're poor but you have Wi-Fi. they be like they have a different definition, yeah, I have Wi-Fi, but what can I do with it? But now you're poor, you're broke, you have 17 cents in the bank, but you have Wi-Fi. You can still consume stuff. You can watch YouTube. You can educate yourself. You now have a lot of advantages that didn't exist, but it existed. Now it exists because of the consumerism that went on 10-15 years ago. So I think consumerism has its benefit for like I said, helps up poverty, helps bring technological change, and generally improves lives across broadly across all factors. And it paves the way for future well-being of everyone. So if you look at it through the rosy light, through the translucent rosy light, you don't, yeah. But of course, there are negative impacts as well. But most people are obsessed with negative impacts because one, people place more emphasis on the negative emotions than they do on the positive ones. It's called prospect theory. Is popularized by psychologist Daniel Kahneman. I think it's a good book, although I found the book very boring, but it's a very important takeaway. People value loss more than they value gains. If you have $10, you rather not lose the $10 than gain another $10. I think it's a very intuitive concept.
Yeah.
So that's why when you talk about consumerism, people associate it negatively. Like, think about all the stuff they can lose, but think about all the stuff you could gain, not now, but maybe in the future. And if it's negative, right? I mean, people knew that consumerism was bad when I don't know, like 10-20 years ago, but why didn't they stop it? I mean, like, if it's a common knowledge, why not stop it, right? Like, everyone knew genocide was bad. That's why Hitler was stopped. I mean, like, they didn't know the extent of genocide, but if everyone knew it was bad, people will eventually stop it. But it has not stopped because it has its advantages. Yeah.
Yeah, never thought of it
Back
that
to you,
way.
Jones. What do you think?
I agree with you on the information point of view. You have more. I think information right now is easily accessible than compared to like what 15-20 years ago, and in terms of the how much content we consume. For example, maybe in the past we don't have knowledge on let's say how to like get rich, and then now we do, because we got many different sources on how to get, I won't say get rich quickly, but then there are multiple incomes of how you can actually build your wealth lah. And then the information is there lah, so you can act on it lah. Or for instance, in more simple example would be, let's say how to lose weight. We let's say, I think maybe 50 years ago, people go to doctors and ask for advice on how to lose weight, on health and all these advices. But now with a simple search on Google on how to cure this and cure that, how to lose weight, the information is abundant. So I think in terms of information wise, it's quite abundant, where we can that's the part of consumerism. Yeah,
And easily accessible.
Yeah, but a bit of information overload lah, I would say.
Yeah. You have to choose like wisely, because you don't know what.
Yeah, that's where the
I agree, man.
Negative effects come. Because a person A can say this, person B can say this, but their opinions are quite conflicted, and then you don't know what to choose, so you have to decide on it by yourself. Yeah. What do you think, Sam?
What about you, Sam?
Honestly, I I have no I have no like points, like other points to like add on, because like you guys have he said it.
Well, you make us feel like professors, yeah.
No, like
Subhash.
no, like from what I'm reading on my end, like the way I structured my answer, it is something that's comparable to both of you, but your the way especially Subhash has said it, has made it into a way where it's like very very detailed, and like very like I would say out of my league lah, because like my points are like very basic points, and okay, I'm just read it to you. Firstly, it drives the economy. Secondly, is there are more technological advancements, not limited to the engineering of our tools, but also the improvements of our intelligence as well. And then thirdly is like our statuses, they are much more like many more people are getting more rich compared to back then, where not much resources has been released. Great, not really accessible, not really accessible. And then other than that would be the job opportunities as well. With the boom of this economic thing, like more jobs are being opened because of more technologies, and so yeah. And then it also replenishes like the basic needs, or maybe like 10 to I think 10 to 15 years ago we had this like problem, and it would be impossible to solve, but now it's just like a quick home fix kind of thing, where you just search on Google and then boom, you have your answer, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's my like main answer to this question. But yeah.
Yeah, but I think Jones raised a very good point about information also.
Information, yes.
I mean, like, okay, let me give you an analogy. In the stock market crash, okay, I give a lot of finance analogy, because most of the books are read are finance based. So I give a finance based answer analogy. I mean, in the crash of 1929, a lot of books came out. Even the father of value investing, right, Ben Graham, he also lost a bunch of money. But then now you think that as time moved on, as more information has been democratized and available to the public, right? Back then, people only had knew the price of the investment stocks, right? Every like 10-20 minutes, there's a huge delay, so there's a price discovery mechanism going on, but it was taking a lot of time. And as technology improved and has been made electronically available to almost everyone. Now the information delay is measly like 0.1 second. So there's a huge information can travel very fast, and also as people have more information of the general sentiment of the market, they know what's going on macro. They don't need to read 10 20 pages to understand what's going on. They can just as a news article pop up, or YouTube will explain it very intuitively. And there's the thing is, but people, you think that they'll make rational decisions, and if they make rational decisions, they won't lose money because they have more information. And the problem becomes that there's not enough information to not lose money, but there's too much information that you lose money. So so this links back to the point that Jones said about information overload. There's so much information that you just can't differentiate between what is good and what is bad. And that is, I think that is the main problem that ties in with consumerism also. There's a lot of goods and services, but you just don't know which one is good for you, which one is bad for you.
Essential.
It's just a classic case of and mess around and find out. You had to experiment with it. You had to see if it fits your lifestyle, your ideologies, and your own philosophy, basically. So yeah, information is also a type of consumerism.
Yeah, I think exactly what I'm facing now lor, with my dropshipping store. I think with most entrepreneurs as well. It takes a lot of experimentation to see what works and doesn't work. Yeah, but then you I mean, if you sort of don't give up, you might deviate a bit from your goals, and then use a different kind of technique, so to speak, to achieve your financial goal lah, because you are an entrepreneur ma. And right now my 2 cents on dropshipping is that I think it's dying lah, because especially Singapore, because you have to compete with the likes of Shopee and Lazada, and you sell and assuming you sell the same things, then why would you all go to my website, put it bluntly, and when you can go to Shopee and Lazada, right? Yeah. But if I'm offering something different, then maybe y'all would go to my store and maybe buy something lah, or maybe something custom made lah. But then again, I will tell you that I will probably use carousel and not use website. Well, that's I think the advantage of consumerism, right? Is that we got many other platforms you can use, and which one's the better one? Let's say create a website to sell your stuff, or use carousel for us Singaporeans. Now we use carousel because the platform is more popular. So that's one good advantage I see. Right, and that as I mentioned before, it's the information overload that can be quite detrimental. Yeah, but I'm just speaking.
I think what you're referring to is the organization of information, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very easy to that's information if it's organized, but the thing is, how will you classify it, reorganize it in such a way that you're not tempted by your emotions, but by your needs?
Yeah, that's one thing that I honestly should have looked at lah. Yeah, it's a bit too much of the emotion, like the drive to get rich quick. And seeing as dropshipping is like still on now, then like I go try lor. But then actually you have to see it to believe it to be part of the dropshipping bubble that that it's gonna burst, or actually already burst. So yeah, you have to be in their shoes just to experience its negative effect of dropshipping.